Live. Let's see. Let's see who comes in. Live. Sleep wasn't the best last night. So, let's see. I know a bunch of people are talking about this today. Let's talk here. Hey. Look, I woke up this morning and on the news I saw that Takeoff had been shot dead. I'm surprised. I'll be honest with you. You know, in a way I'm not surprised. I'm surprised it was him, but I'm not surprised that there's so much violence in our community. Um, at some point you expect to hear about a prominent person getting killed, especially at the rate at which we kill in our own community. But if I'm being honest with you, it's just disappointing. So just waking up in the morning and just seeing, like, I don't know, I just feel like today is not a day for that. It's supposed to be a beautiful day after Halloween. Everybody's supposed to be chill. And it's weird to me. It's weird to me that we can't even have a community where people don't want to harm one another. And it's frightening. How do our children continue to live in communities like this where people get angry and they start killing? Like it's crazy to me. So when I woke up this morning and I saw that, I was a little bit, disturbed. I was like, damn, Takeoff. And all it was just a game of dice. Anyway, for those of you who don't know what was going on, I think it happened just a few hours back, maybe 5 or 6 hours ago. But young man Takeoff from the group Migos was shot after a dice game or something like that. That's the way they reported it on Channel 5 News, and I don't have all the details. So what I can do is I can pull up a video and we can do a. Hold on 1 second. Let me share my screen because I'm actually working today, but I did want to discuss this topic. Let me see. Present. Share screen. Chrome tab.
John Payne, we moved the national headlines for you this morning at 7:20. A developing story out of Houston, Texas. TMZ is reporting rapper Takeoff, a member of Migos, is dead. The 28-year-old was reportedly shot to death at a bowling alley in Houston at around 2:30 this morning. TMZ says Takeoff was there with Quavo, another member of Migos. Sources say someone started shooting after a fight broke out. Takeoff was pronounced dead at the scene. 2 other people went to a hospital in private cars.
Yo, are you still trying to lose weight with exercise alone?
John, thank you. We moved to national.
Let's go. What else we got here? Willie D is over there going live.
TMZ is reporting that Takeoff, 1/3 of the rap group of Migos, is dead after an early morning shooting in Houston.
Yeah, Fox 5's Dan Bowens joins us with the very latest on this investigation. Some big news coming out of this.
Yeah, Bianca and Rosanna, no way around it. It's a devastating loss in the world of hip hop. A lot of this information just coming in the last few hours. The rapper known as Takeoff shot and killed in an overnight shooting. This happened in Houston, Texas. According to TMZ, local police and several witnesses say this all happened at about 2:30 this morning. Takeoff, whose real name was Kershnik Kari Ball, was one of the founding members of the chart-topping group Migos. He's seen here, right in the middle of your screen there. Police say he was killed at a bowling alley called 810 Billiards and Bowling, Houston. We have some video from outside of the location where this all happened. Again, it all happened overnight, about 2:30 in the morning. According to TMZ, Takeoff and fellow Migos member Quavo were there playing dice when some kind of fight broke out. Someone opened fire, shooting Takeoff. Some reports indicate he was shot in the head and pronounced dead at the scene.
There were some security guards that were in the area, but they heard the shooting, but no one saw who did the shooting. A lot of folks were there. They were in front of the bar. The bar was actually closed at the time. They had the doors locked, but people were congregating out on the balcony area, and everybody fled.
And the Georgia-based group Migos was formed back in 2008. Their breakout single, Versace, was released in 2013. Takeoff was the youngest member of Migos and was 28 years old. Quavo was his uncle, and the third member, Offset, was his cousin. Most recently, Quavo and Takeoff unveiled a project as the duo Unk and Few. They had just released their latest music video as well. It was called Messy. That video came out just yesterday. Again, still a lot of unanswered questions here. We're still waiting to find out the specifics, potentially, of what led up to this shooting, that argument, and then the gunfire, and a possible suspect or suspects. No one has been arrested at this point in this case. Quavo was not injured in the shooting.
As you can hear, Takeoff, I didn't realize that Quavo was with him because I actually watched that same news segment this morning, and I didn't recognize and didn't realize that Quavo was with him, and I'm sorry that that was the case. But yeah, he was shot in the head, they say. That's crazy. Like, it seems like the community is just never at rest. People can never have a nice holiday weekend. People can never have a nice summer. People can, without people in our community, mainly young Black men, killing one another. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, and people don't want to be honest. People don't want to be honest about the state of our community. People don't want to be honest about the fact that the little boys that they raised are out here terrorizing the community. They don't want to be honest about the fact that we have anger problems in our community. Why can't we have a little dice game amongst rich niggas without people killing one another? This is something that has to stop in the community in order for people to feel safe. A lot of Black people are leaving America because they don't feel safe. And it's not the white people who make them feel unsafe. It's the Black people. You know, it's the ones that walk around the streets with guns in their pockets. I mean, they even have ghost guns out here in New York. I don't know what they're doing in Houston, but in New York, they got ghost guns now. I mean, you can't even track it down now. We get on these panels and we talk a lot of shit on these panels. And to me, the things that we talk about on these panels are minuscule compared to this. There is a crime epidemic in our community. Rich niggas can't even go and play dice at a popular billiards in Atlanta. Let's see what they're saying on the rumor report.
She's spilling the tea. This is the Rumor Report with Angela Yee on The Breakfast Club.
Well, we did see multiple reports on social media, and out of respect for Takeoff's family and close friends, you know, we are putting this in the rumor report. It has not been officially confirmed by family members, but multiple Houston promoters are claiming that they allegedly saw Takeoff get shot and killed at an event. This is according to Say Cheese TV. And here is a report from Lieutenant R. Wilkins from the Houston Police Department discussing an incident that did happen, although he did not name who the victim was.
Hey, we're here at in between Dallas and Polk on San Jacinto. We got one male that's deceased. He's right in front of the 810 bowling alley, which is on the 3rd floor. Looks like he's been shot in the head or neck, possibly. Right now, we don't have a whole lot of information. We know it happened somewhere around 2:35. There were some security guards that were in the area, but they heard the shooting, but no one saw who did the shooting. A lot of folks were there. They were in front of the bar. The bar was actually closed at the time. They had the doors locked, but people were congregating out on the balcony area, and everybody fled. We've got some video footage, but not very well. Everybody fled. Homicide investigators are coming. It would be great if anybody would come forward and tell us what occurred, because right now we really don't have a whole lot of anything.
Well, TMZ has confirmed. I don't know if that matters, but yeah, TMZ has confirmed.
All those people and nobody saw nothing. And
Well,
that's what the
I
officer said. That's what the police
I
officer
think
said.
they're still waiting for people to come forward and give information.
Well,
Exactly.
actually, they didn't say anything.
Right.
Yeah,
And that doesn't mean that they won't. You know, there's video footage, and I'm sure they're still gathering information, as this was just a couple of hours ago.
Yeah.
Well, you know, my question is this. Since we care about each other, who's going to give up the shooter? You know, there was a shooter, and people know who that person is. And in our community, we have this no snitching bullshit rule. I really don't agree with it. Somebody better come out and snitch, because this is ridiculous. I don't understand. Like, you wake up in the morning, a beautiful morning like today, life is good. Halloween was a blast. Everyone had a good time. I saw everyone had their little Halloween parties, and all the celebrities and their different Halloween parties, all the people out here trick-or-treating with the kids. I gave out candy. Everything was nice. You wake up in the morning and then you hear this. A prominent young Black man being slain by his brother. Like, shot in the neck, shot in the head. That was intentional. This community is supposed to care. This community is supposed to care about itself. How can we march in the street for the lives of young men that don't even care about themselves? And it's an everyday occurrence. Literally, somebody else was hurt over the last couple of days. There's so many people getting killed here. I don't know what's going on in Houston, but here in New York, so many people getting killed here pushings in the subway, shootings, stabbings, getting mowed down by cars. And it's not all Black community shit in New York. It's just crazy people here. But what I want to understand is when it is in our community, when are we going to stand up and say, this is enough. Enough is enough. We can't continue to have our people die senselessly. We have low numbers in this America. And we just keep killing each other. Some people say it's a cultural war. I don't think it's a cultural war. I don't think so. All of us come from that culture. A lot of us come from that culture, that low down culture. But we don't all kill. A dice game?
They not only, do I hope they do, they should, because, a human that'll do that in a bowling alley in front of all those people, you think he would have any remorse for you? You think he'd have any remorse for one of your loved ones?
And there were false reports before that Quavo was shot as well, but he was not shot. He's fine. He was there, though.
Yes.
All right.
I mean, there's nothing, I could say right now that doesn't sound like I'm reading off the same old script.
Condolences to
to his
family,
family.
his friends. It's rest in peace. It's just very sad.
And I would say, I don't
Very
call him
sad.
just a rapper though. That was a Black man. He was a human. He has family that loves him and cares about him. And they don't call him Takeoff. And the media will say rapper Takeoff shot and killed, but that's someone's family. And that man's family is waking up this morning, seeing the news online, hearing it on the radio. Just think of that when you're, reporting on this story today.
And nobody wants to see the pictures and the
28.
videos that everybody's, I see that some people had some pictures on the scene. Like, okay, calm down, everybody. That's, I think, disrespectful
Man,
to be posting things like that.
28 years old. The brother didn't even get to see 30. That is so freaking sad, man. 28.
All right, well, we will keep on updating you as news is coming in. Hopefully, there'll be some information shortly on who was involved in this.
All right, I guess we'll get more news later, but does it matter? Does it matter if we get more news? We've got to do better in our community.
TMZ.
We just have to do better in our community. I don't know if getting more news is really something that's going to help us. I mean, getting more details is really something that's going to help us. We need to clean up in our community. We need to clean up. We need to love one another. We need to clean up. We need to stop disrespecting one another. We also need to manage our expectations. Not everyone has to respect you to the utmost, highest level. As long as they give you your base level respect, that's good enough. All of this niggas getting mad at other niggas and shooting them after dice games and pool games and basketball games and things that are supposed to be fun. We can't even do fun things in our community without somebody getting killed. And it's been like this for years. It's heating back up, but it's been like this since I was a child. Sometimes the cookout can even be a shootout, depending on where your family is from. And I just find it to be disgusting. It's one of the reasons why I left. It's one of the reasons why I plan on raising most of my children mostly in Africa. Because there's a common sense there and a respect for life there that doesn't exist here. A common sense and respect for people that look like themselves that doesn't exist here. I hate to say it, but we are a failing community as Black people. We don't care about one another. At least that's not what it seems like to me. I don't know how a woman could live in a place like Houston and expect to or even New York or even Atlanta and expect to really raise their child here. Yeah, it's one thing to be here sometime. It's another thing to completely raise your family in these areas. There's no safety. Not in our communities. If you want safety, you're going to have to pay triple the price and go into someone else's community. You get what you pay for. Even where I live now, it's a gentrifying area, an area that used to be a Black community, but now it's steadily changing and it's getting nicer, but there's still shootouts. A lady just got shot on Fulton Street by the Popeyes, by the gym, by the supermarket, by the corner store, like the places that we all go to. She just got shot in the leg by accident because somebody was trying to shoot his ops in the middle of the day by the Popeyes chicken spot. Nothing surprises me anymore. I'm disappointed. Like, I'm disappointed. Let's see what Willie D is saying.
I think it's time to pull the plug. No, there's still more time.
Like, whatever that you want out of life, whatever you want, whatever objective you have, your actions have to be consistent with the outcome you want. It's as simple as that. Your actions have to be consistent with the outcome you want. I'm gonna let y'all go, fam, but I appreciate y'all for joining.
Oh, all right. He wasn't saying much of anything. We caught him at the end of his live. But to his last point, yeah, your outcomes are reflective of the actions you took. I would say more like that. So if niggas was gonna be acting niggerish, playing dice games in the middle of a popular billiards and getting turned up with their pistols on them, then that's the outcome they get. They know what kind of crowd they're around. See, I don't even know why they involve themselves in those kinds of environments. I know you're having fun, but isn't there a way to have fun in the confines of your house or in a place that's more intimate, where there's less going on, where people are less likely to... I mean, the person that shot Takeoff has to be somebody in that small group that was playing in the game. Nobody want to say nothing? They scared of him? They scared of dropping his identity and letting people know who the fuck he is? A coward? That's a problem in our community. We need to be honest about the fact that we don't want to clean up our community. If we wanted to clean up our community, we wouldn't allow shit like this to happen. Like, how does people even have weapons? I guess it was outside the spot. I guess it happened outside the spot, as the guy said. Look, they're saying reports that Quavo was also injured in the incident have not been confirmed. Wow. Not much to say. I really want to see what other people are going to say today. During the course of the day, I want to see what other people are going to say about this news. My question is, does a Black man care about himself in this country? Do they care about each other? Does he care about the fact that his nephews and his sons are killing each other? Like, quite literally, right? Damn, Quavo was right there. What I'm trying to say is that before anyone can do anything for us, we've got to do it for ourselves. We have to secure this community. It is unacceptable to wake up every fucking morning and hear a young black man killed at the hands of another young black man. It's unacceptable. It's not no blackety black shit. You know what it really is? It's humanity. People want life. Good black people want life. We want life in this community. We don't want death. This community is full of death. Downtrodden, it's sick, it's diseased. This place is full of death. Every time you look around. And you know, when you go to the east, yeah, they have death. But you know what I find? I find that there's a lot of life. As quick as people are dying is as quick as they're born. We don't do it like that here, though. We're barely having children. And then we're murdering one another at such an alarming rate. We might as well not even be in this country if we're going to behave this way. I mean, how could we ever win? How can we ever establish a black community that's operable when we can't even sustain numbers? Even the most productive of us have to worry about someone trying to shoot us in the head. And when I say us, I'm really talking about black men. I mean, there was one black girl that got shot over some jealousy issue in Brooklyn, but I haven't heard much of that lately. It's mostly young black men killing each other. And they're the ones who have to address this. You have to get this community in order, or else you're going to find yourself shipped out of this country, I guarantee you. And no, there's no spots for you over where I'm at. You'll have to go somewhere else, because a lot of these places ain't taking a bunch of no GDP having, no income having niggas to their country, whether they're black countries or not. I'm just going to let you know. There'll be no refuge for people that behave like this in anybody's country. Don't think you're going to fuck up in this country and someone's going to take your hand and usher you to the land of promise where there's fruits and vegetables fucking growing everywhere. No one wants... Look, this black community that's infected is not wanted in Africa, is not wanted in Europe, is not wanted in Central and South America. Don't get it twisted. The people that are going to these places, they're the good blacks. And we're leaving the ignorant people that have shootouts after dice games. We're leaving y'all right here in this here America. You don't deserve an extra opportunity. You don't deserve another chance. You can't even mind your own community. Be damned if we take the same fucking problems to another place where we're trying to build and create our black excellence. Man, you guys was just rocking out to Bad and Bougie a few years back. Like, y'all was just, what? Y'all was just stir frying last year. Remember that? In the kitchen if you're cooking us a stir fry. You guys are fake and phony in this community. Y'all don't give a fuck. I'm guaranteeing. Look, nobody in this black community cares about nobody else. Everything is a dog-eat-dog world. Self. Even last night when Takeoff got killed, that's because of one individual and how he felt about himself. No consideration for the community, the collective. None. He didn't sit back and say, yo, I'm a black man. I don't need to kill this successful black man. Let me just calm myself down and put myself in a corner somewhere. No, he got into his ego and he said, oh no, nah, this nigga not gonna play me like this. And came and shot boy, and now he's dead. And it's always the good ones who die young. Takeoff was seems like, I can't say because I don't know him, but seemed like a pretty upstanding man out of the whole group. I didn't even realize he was the youngest in the group. I actually thought he was the oldest in the group. I'm not going to lie. So that hurts my heart, yo. He's not even 30 years old. That's crazy. When I come on YouTube, man, especially when I come on my own channel, I come here to talk about real shit. I don't have time to talk about the garbage they talk about every day. I mean, I will join those conversations because they're fun for shits and giggles. But right now, what a man and a woman do, it don't fucking matter to me. What I want to know is what are these young men and these grown men in our community going to do about the state and the health and welfare of our community? We don't have time to talk about relationship games. There's nothing that has to do with a woman in this scenario right here. Just two men and ego, lack of discipline, lack of respect for human life. That is something that runs rampant in our community. And you old black niggas better talk to these young little bastards. Because if you don't do that, our community is going to be in the most fucked up position it's ever been in the history of America. And you're going to find yourself outside of America. I'm guaranteeing you guys. Don't you see how this country is cleaning up itself or trying to clean up itself? Crime is something that I don't think that America is going to continue to tolerate. I mean, I can't speak for the powers that be, but it seems like every time I turn on the channel, there's somebody that looks like us committing crimes. Let me tell you something about America. They're not going to keep allowing that shit. It's your responsibility to get these little niggas in line. It is your responsibility to yourselves to clean up this community, or else you won't have one. They want to know why people going abroad. People going abroad because they're afraid. I was just out this weekend. Can't even go to a bar down the block without being fearful, getting shot on the way up the block. Not to say that this neighborhood is that dangerous, because it's not. But I know that there are little niggas who have problems with other gentlemen on these blocks. And sometimes they're feeling salty and they're on their Molly or whatever they're on, rolling around the street, halfway drunk, halfway high with a gun in their pocket. They think they're shooting at somebody else and they're shooting at someone's grandma. The idiocracy. Takeoff shouldn't be dead right now. P&B Rock shouldn't be dead right now. I just want the men in our community to be honest. And when I say the men in our community, I don't mean the old ass men. I don't mean the 50 and 60-year-old men. I mean the 40-year-old men in our community. I want them to be honest. Keep it real. Y'all don't give a fuck about your own community. If you did, it would be in a better state. It would show. We would have more birth than death. You wake up to shit like this and then you think to yourself, yo, like, what is the point of trying to continue to exist in this Black America? I mean, I'm pretty much done with it. Y'all know me. Y'all know I'm 5 seconds away from being in Africa every day, all day, where people actually love each other. Where you can go into a restaurant and see a big Black family, 15 deep, sitting there laughing and joking and dancing and having food after church on a Sunday. Still, where that still happens. Where the guns aren't all over the place. There might be a shootout here and there, but you're not going to find all these shootouts happening. Because there's not that many weapons. Who could actually envision raising their son in Houston or New York City or LA? Like, who could, or Chicago? Who could envision raising their little sons in these places? Like, I look at how well-mannered the young Black men in Africa are, and how some of them are even married by 20, living in a home, taking care, and it doesn't have to be rich, but they do something for their family. It's not about the level at which they do it. It's about the fact that they do it, period. And then you see them at 40 again, and you see them at 60 again, still with their wife, with their children, now their grandchildren, and life is beautiful. You don't see that here. Very few, far between. A Black man's life in America is like one of those, it's a short-lived. You can have excellence for a few years, but eventually someone's going to shoot you dead, like Takeoff or PNB Rock. You can have excellence for years. Eventually you're going to end up in someone's jail cell, like Thug. And I'm not saying these people didn't do things wrong and they haven't done things wrong. I'm not making excuses for any of them. All I'm saying is that this is a Black community that is rooted in dysfunction. We hate each other. We don't want to see the next person next to us doing better than us, and we'll do anything to take them down. Whereas people uplift each other in the East. Maybe it's because people don't have a lot. They continue to uplift each other because it's necessary for the continuity of their community. But it's one of the reasons why I refuse to have my Black sons in this country. I will not raise my Black sons in this country. I will not. I will not raise my Black sons in this country. I won't have my sons going to school fearful. I won't have them coming out of school fearful. I won't have them walking around here like they have to be on their knees praying to somebody. It won't happen. I want them to have a collective, a group of young men who are trying to do things with one another. I won't allow them to be in this dysfunction, this Black American dysfunction. My sons can't be a part of it. Why don't I have kids yet? Because this place is a disaster. I'm going to have my children in Africa. You can't even be rich and Black. You can't even be rich and Black and go and have a good time at a billiards without getting shot. So what happens for the regular, ordinary people like us who just have their kids going to school, who just have their kids existing in normal life? What is the promise for a young Black man in this society here if you can't make multi-millions and be safe? That's what I'm saying. I'm not here to criticize the way in which everyone lives their lives. I'm not saying don't go to the billiards. I'm not saying, don't have a little dice game. But why can't we engage in fun? And even if you want to do a little even if you want to do a little gambling, why does death have to be an inevitability of every circumstance in our community? Every situation in our community ends with death. It ends with the most ultimate punishment, death. People don't even bust each other's ass no more. People don't even fight anymore. People don't even, it's just, I'm angry, death. I'm hurt, death. I'm sad, death. I'm jealous, death. I'm mentally ill, death. Everyone's just dying because of how people feel. I don't know. I'm not into it. I find it to be a disgusting state that we've come to as Black American people. I'm not into it. I'm not gonna lie. I think that it's a disaster. I think that it's one of the reasons why so many people have left. So many good Black people that I know have gone other places outside of America. I'm not talking about outside of these cities. I'm talking about outside of America. You know, everybody wants to get their money here. Okay, great. But I try not to get stuck here too long. I don't trust it. I'm gonna live. I'm gonna survive. Like, my son is going to see his old age. Even if he have to have a fucking accent and wear his feet out, I don't care. My son gonna have a long life. My son gonna have a wife, children, kids, long life. And I don't even have a son yet, but I know he's gonna live for a long time because I'm gonna make sure that he's not in an environment, and my daughter too, because some of you people forget young women have been getting slain left and right in this country over the last couple years due to people's anger, jealousy, manipulation. I don't want my daughter to be a part of that shit either. I don't see myself having children in this country. I just don't see it. I don't see myself, because this country has so much to offer, yes. But the one thing it can't do is guarantee the life of my children, because there's something called haters. And haters, they like to use weapons and they like to kill one another in their own community. There was a young man right here downtown Brooklyn that just got his face beat in after school. I don't know if he went to Brooklyn Tech, but he was by Brooklyn Tech and got his face beat in a couple months ago. And the first thing I looked at him and I said, wow, he looked like he could have been like one of my sons. Like, he had my same complexion and face kind of. And it was like, oh man, like, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for the day to see what some of these people say today. I'm hopping on panels today. I'm going to talk my shit today. You can't convince me that black men in this country care about one another. They're going to have to do better. You're going to have to do better. You're going to have to prove more. Show and prove. Because the reality is that nobody that has the means is getting stuck in this place with y'all. Every time this community goes down the drain, it's women that have resources and other black men that have resources that leave y'all high and dry. So y'all gonna be warring by yourselves. That's not related to Quavo. That's just related to the state of our community in general. Y'all gonna be warring by yourselves, because ain't nobody gonna sit there and allow their children to be gunned down by your little badass kids, by your gang member friends. And the rap game is trash. I think that the majority of the rappers that are out there now should remove themselves from the rap game, and they should try to make other types of music. Because music, I understand people that love culture, arts, and music, because I'm one of those people. But right now, this is not benefiting nobody. This is a non-threatening young man just slain after a dice game. And then nobody has any details. I need somebody to snitch ASAP. I need somebody to come out with the details and let it all. I don't give a fuck what happened. I know that nobody should have got killed after a dice game at a popular billiards in Atlanta. So I'm going to need somebody to fucking snitch. We owe it to the young man. Y'all owe it to the young man. Whoever was in that billiards last night, you owe it to Quavo. You owe it to Offset. You owe it to Takeoff. You owe it to those young men. That's their family. Takeoff was the nicest one out of every. It seemed like he was the nicest, most agreeable, most adorable one out of all of them. That's the fucked up part. It's always, it's always the good ones. I hate to say it like that. Not to say that he was any better than anyone, because I didn't know him. But he seemed like he had a lot of sense. A lot of common sense. I actually, like I said earlier, I thought he was the older one. please. You mean to tell me every time we open up our iTunes now, or what do they call it? Apple Music, that we are going to be playing songs of dead niggas and niggas that are in jail? So like every time I play some of my favorite records, it's like some of my favorite records is niggas in jail now. And then some of my other favorite records are dead young men now. Art imitates reality. And reality is influenced by art. The art is dark and the reality is dark. We need light in this community. We need goodness, light, love, respect, dignity. That's the shit that we need in this community. That's what's missing, because I don't really think it's money. I find that most of my black friends, even the ones that come from the ghetto, even the ones that live in the hood, got something. Everyone has enough to take care of themselves. We're not starving, but we don't have common sense these days. I had a young man walk up to me outside the other day. He recognized me from YouTube. He said, hey. He passed me, then actually, he was a grown man. He was probably around my age. Walked up to me, he's like, hey, do you do YouTube? I was like, yeah. He was like, wow, like you're beautiful in real life. I was like, yeah, I'm a real person. Then he started laughing. It's true. We all bleed. I was shocked about the way that he did it too, because I saw him looking at me from across the street. I was on the phone. Then he passed me, and then he came back. And I thought it was so funny because I've been in this community for years, and YouTube is not, to me, more people know me outside of YouTube than on YouTube in my mind, because it's like I've met so many people, done so many things in my life. It's a lot of people know me. I just feel like, but who did you think you were walking up on? Did you think you were going to walk up on me and I was just going to start giving you the YouTube banter? Like, nigga, I'm on the phone having a real conversation with one of my friends. Actually, I was on the phone with my husband at the time, having a real conversation with him. And I found it to be so cute and so funny, but also so sad. Like, you should feel like you're able to talk to a person in your community. And the ego isn't there. I have to drop the ego anytime somebody speaks to me. I don't humble myself often because I don't believe in humility on that level. I don't believe I'm not putting myself underneath your feet, sir. Sorry. But I do believe in when a person recognizes you, that's the time to be humble. If you ever see me in the street and you recognize me and you're a good person, then you shout me out. You say, hey, Black Beauty, Black Beauty, ABB, ABB, A Black Beauty. I'm going to look at you and I'm going to say, yeah, that's me. Because I'm not afraid, because I know I do the right thing in my community. How many people can say that they do the right thing in their community? And I'm not on no righteous shit. I'm just like everybody else. But I respect my community. That's the thing. And if the young men who respected themselves, if they had respected themselves last night and respected their community last night, they would have went home and cooled their heads down after that dice game. Now we've got to have national and international news, because you know Migos is a huge ass group. That news is going everywhere. I'm about to be getting messages from probably my husband, my friends in Niger, everything. They're going to be like, yo, what? Because it's unbelievable how a young man who is a good young man could find himself on the end of that. On a Monday night, on a Halloween night. Anyway, you niggas don't know how to act. And that's the reason. That's the reason why so many people are going abroad. It really isn't about, I mean, I know passport pros is a conversation that people have about, passports and men wanting to go and exercise their options abroad and passport bros. And then they talk about women, passport sis, and girls that are going abroad to get their bodies done even and do all this. No, the main reason why most Black people are going abroad is because our communities are unsafe and unlivable. You can't even go to a nice popular billiards in your community and with your community, because I don't know where it is in Houston. I don't know if it's a white area or what. I don't think it matters. Your community is in there with you and you can't even come out safe. And plenty of people went home that night. But one of the most important people, or one of the most prominent rather, people was killed. Sometimes they say like it was planned, they try to go with the conspiracy theory thing. And then I say, no, niggas don't need a plan to act ratchet and act crazy. There wasn't a plan. There's no plan. The plan is to disrespect ourselves just another day. We just keep disrespecting ourselves in this country and we look for other people to respect us. It's just never going to happen. So those are my thoughts. There's no respect in this community. The young men don't respect themselves, so they're never going to respect you as a woman. You can get over that part. And that's what it is. You have to respect yourself in this community by pulling yourself out of the community. Even if you're going to live in the community, you keep yourself low because you can't give access to everyone. You won't make it out alive. If you give access to everyone in the Black community as a good Black person, as a good Black, you won't make it out alive. I suggest that you hold tight, stay in the fort, come out only a little bit, very rarely. Be nice to people when you interact with them in the street. Keep your shades on, your hat on, stay low. If you're a good, this is a PSA to the good Blacks, right? All right, if you're a good Black, then you know this look, right? If you're a good Black, then you know this look. If you're a good Black, then you know this look. This is a good Black look. It's when you live in the Black neighborhood and you need to get low. You don't need people knowing you have nothing. You don't need people knowing you do nothing, that you are something, that you are somebody. You got to put your black hat on, your shades on, put your jacket on, look, make sure you have your headset in as well. Feel me? Don't give anybody access to you as a good Black in this community. It's not just take off. This is just how we operate. You can be someone of prominence in the Black community, and let me tell you something, you won't make it out alive. You need to disguise yourself. You need to keep quiet. Only interact with people who respect you. Don't be seen in the public in a lot of these ghetto areas. Takeoff should have never even been playing dice with them last night. But why can't people have fun? Why can't people have fun? Somebody calling me. I don't even know what that is. People can't even go out and have fun without worrying about not coming home because of a hater. Anyway, I love you guys. I don't promote this channel much because on this channel I have to keep it real. I don't have time for panels. I'm really a working person right now. I got a meeting coming up in a couple minutes. I'm really a real person. I've got a lot of work to do. I do a lot. I want to come on certain panels and light shit up, but I think sometimes the things that I say is too real. People go in circles on YouTube a lot. But if they're going to not address the main and key issues, I don't have time. Like, I don't mind coming and being on a panel and talking a little shit with you guys in the morning, early in the morning when I'm taking my medicine and I'm kicking back and having my tea. That's the time that I give y'all. But all of this every day bitching and moaning about what men and women can do in this community, No, the first thing that women can do in this community is go to a safe high ground and stay there. And the first thing that men can do in this community is go out there, clean this shit up, and make it livable for your family. That includes your mother, your daughters, your sisters, your nieces, your wife, and the other men in the community. And stop playing games. These YouTube games, look, these YouTube games, there's a bunch of YouTube games being played. Nobody has time for that shit. In real life, niggas are dying. In real life, young women are getting taken advantage of. Kids are being taken advantage of. And I don't even have time to get to niggas like Kanye while he's out here worried about what white people's corporations and conglomerates are doing. People are killing each other after dice games. A city where the man is from is under siege. Chicago is crazy. I really don't even have time to make comments about a nigga like Kanye because he's under my feet as far as I'm concerned. A nigga like Kanye is under my feet. A man who doesn't give a fuck about his community. Who has the potential to do so much for us, but just runs around. And I'm a huge Kanye fan. I mean, I don't think he's crazy, by the way. I think he's a brilliant man, but he don't give a fuck, really. It's all about him. It's ego. He's always been that way. I must have about 30 magazines in my mom's house, if they're still there. Kanye on the cover of them. Guess what, niggas? Kanye he's not the big bad boogeyman, and he's not about to drop down like Bruce Wayne every time you niggas have a conversation with each other that ends up in some kind of gun battle, gunfire and bloodshed. Sorry, but he's not omniscient, Kanye. He's not about to save y'all niggas. What you have to do is save yourselves, clean up your community, and be serious about it. Teach each other financial literacy. Teach each other respect. Get into a regiment as young men and create and cultivate the type of community where you will feel safe, where your kids and your family and your wives will feel safe. And then we can talk in a few years after that about submission and all of these other bullshit conversations people have. Submission to what? This conversation about submission on YouTube is trash. So you want my little daughters to submit to the fucking hotheads that kill each other after dice games? Wow, you guys are confused. Anyway, like I said, I've got to go. I actually have a real career and things to do. And shit don't move unless I make it move because I'm not unrealistic in life. Okay? I hope in the next couple of hours you niggas can manage to not kill each other. I'm sure somebody will drop dead in the Bronx over the next couple of hours. I hope you all can manage to stay alive for the rest of November 1st. Is it possible? A Black Beauty is out. Peace.